What's going on, Internet? Welcome to another, but slightly different, ARFCOM review! This is the third time I've gotten you. This is going to be a unique one. We are doing home defense or HD rifle roasts. We have brought Jeff Gonzales from Trident Concepts. He's a former Navy SEAL, and he's got an ego that's a lot bigger than my gun currently. But he is a qualified opinion to make fun of a thing I'm buying to protect my life. This is an actual rifle that exists in my residence that I use hypothetically to protect my life. And Jeff has graciously offered us his very friendly opinion about this build. We're going to all go through me, Paul, and Bobby behind the camera are subjecting ourselves to this, and then he's allegedly going to show us the correct way to protect your house.
I don't
with
know where
a rifle.
allegedly came from. I never agreed to that.
Right after these, a word from our sponsor, we'll get into this.
Today's title sponsor is TNVC.com, your source for good old-fashioned, all-American night vision, just like Mom used to make.
See at nighttime. Nighttime seeing is important. Don't you want to see things? Seeing things is better. What's so wrong with you? You don't want to see things. TNVC.
And by Vault Pro, proudly manufacturing the finest American-made safes, vault doors, safe rooms, and storm shelters. When you buy from Vault Pro, your safety, security, and privacy is their only priority. Vault Pro has never and will never release your information to another party. And by PWS, now offering their advanced BDE suppressors in 4 caliber options, 7.62, 9mm, 22, and 5.56. These suppressors offer revolutionary sound control, all while remaining lightweight and tough. Easy to clean, easy to install, and easy to maintain. These suppressors will make shooting even better than it was before.
So the first one we're starting off with is my rifle.
Hi, Editing Bobby here with a quick disclaimer. If anytime we refer to a pistol as a rifle in this video, just know that we're doing so in a colloquial way, knowing full well that these are pistols and not rifles. We can just blame it on Josh's dyslexia.
I'll give you a very high overview for those of you that are going to care. This is a premium PSA upper. This is the one with the cold hammer forged barrel. They had the FN barrel run a long time ago. Fixed front sight. Fixed rear sight, Daniel Defense. This is my Hollow Sun. I don't remember the number for this thing, but it is a red dot. This is a Streamlight ProTac with the tape switch. The only nice thing, I have a few nice things, but it's a cloud defensive mount that I had to ghetto rig to be at the 12 o'clock position. Don't ask questions. It required a Dremel. Geisley trigger. This is an ARFCOM PSA lower. Don't ask questions.
I'm going to get into that later.
And then this is a PDW brace with Magpul furniture on it.
PSA lower.
ARFCOM inspired?
Yes.
We'll go with that. It's an ARFCOM inspired lower. It's a bunch of inside jokes. So let's go tip to butt like all of the vet bros do on as far as your critique of my home defense rifle.
First of all, we need to change that. It's tooth to tail.
Anyways, so muzzle device. I have a CAC blast deflector. It's sold to you as something that takes the blast away.
Yeah.
You had beef.
Junk. You're better off with just an A2 birdcage.
A2 birdcage? For flash suppression or for sound or for what?
Well, first of all, that's not doing anything to sound.
Agreed. No. This doesn't claim to do anything for sound outside of at least send it that way. Yeah.
Basically, all that is that's just a large opening to the end of the muzzle.
Yes.
All right. And so that's not really doing anything to change.
I would argue this might be like a sound amplifier. This is so for psychological warfare's sake.
Boom.
Yeah.
For keeping your hearing.
Not so good.
Okay.
And that's the thing. If we're inside of closed, confined spaces, man, I'll tell you what, you're going to be cracking off 2-3 rounds of that, and you're going to be looking at serious hearing damage. So I'm not a big fan of that. And I'm not saying that an A2 birdcage isn't going to blow out your eardrums either, but it's just...
At least it's giving you flash suppression?
A little bit. Yeah. But more importantly, I think, that's really not giving you anything. And it just looks bad.
So 10.5 upper is chambered in 5.56, so yeah. Fireballs likely.
I could tell you that there is, with that short inch barrel for sure. That's terrible idea.
So I have, this is on a cantilever mount. We'll have a really good discussion about this. I thought this was actually a really good one that we had off camera. So I have a ProTac flashlight. There are ways to mount these directly, I believe, M-LOK onto these M-LOK slots. I used a cantilever mount to push it forward. Here's my thought process, right?
Can I stop you right there?
100% go for it.
Yeah, just stop.
Just stop.
Yeah, just
no
stop.
Flashlight?
No, flashlight is good, but direct mount, get it as tight as you can. Get rid of the tape switch. You don't need any of that. I was going to try to stop you and tell you that, that forend I feel like is where you would want to change out. I mean, I
the
get
Magpul SL.
No,
forend,
the whole forend, starting from the Delta ring all the way forward.
All the way forward.
Get rid of that. The 80s called, they want their shit back. Even though I love that forend, you made the best. You basically, you're taking a shit sandwich and you're throwing some Tabasco sauce on it, basically. But I mean, you saw how you had to, had to get in there.
This is drilled and tapped.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the Josh
I mean, it's just, the key thing here is that you want something that's super low profile, super streamlined. You want it lightweight. You want it easy to move, easy maneuver. You want to be able to get in and out of things very quickly with that thing.
I'm spoiled now, that especially here, that I get to go mess with the way Scout mounts. And Arasaka does this. Surefire does this. I'm sure there's solutions for Streamlight lights to do this, and it's really the mounting option that he's got beef with because it's super far away from the barrel.
It's just extra. It's a lot of extra stuff.
Another question I had, and we brought it up, we all have ambidextrous charging handles.
Yeah.
The decision I made here is my wife is left-handed.
Yeah.
And so I made a concession here because it is easier for her. Why not the ambidextrous charging handle?
I know that they're all the rage, but I just find them to be unnecessary. Just a standard charging handle.
So do you stick with a mil spec or just have a reduced size?
I like it.
You just wouldn't do?
Yeah. You could. I probably, if you can get the same model without the ambidextrous option, then it's fine. And I'm not saying that ambis are bad or not good, but they're just unnecessary. If you're not a right-handed if you're not a left-handed shooter, you're really, and even if as a left-handed shooter, you can still work the charging handle.
I would say it's designed to be like grabbed like
claw.
this.
Yeah,
the lobster claw way of doing it. I do have, we had a really good conversation. I'm the only one out of us three, at least, outside of the cheater. We'll get into that. I'm the only one that doesn't have a side folder specifically on my home defense rifle. This this brace is just, it's a straight PDW brace. That there's no folding.
Yeah.
You couldn't get this to fold if you wanted to. Why would you want a side folder in a home defense rifle?
So it's not necessarily like one is better than the other. What I was referencing is that, I like that compact small package. If I needed to take that and use that as a bag gun, a truck gun, or some other option, some other variant, I'm losing out on my ability to condense this and make this small.
I think on ARs too. The solutions are out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you could, this really doesn't give you anything. You might as well just have put a fixed stock. I mean, if it wasn't an AR pistol, you might as well just put a fixed stock on it. Yeah, that's about as much value as you're getting.
Jeff being based, he just says throw a stock on there, whatever.
But the nice thing about any of the folders that you have is that they will allow you to compress that package even smaller. So like I said, if you needed to throw that in a bag or get moving or do something, you can just make that package super, super small.
I think it was a good conversation. We talked about this off camera about your home defense rifle or your truck rifle being the smallest package you can make it. I think it does serve the purpose better.
Yeah.
The side folder helps with that.
Yeah, and I think most people are not going to have a home defense gun and a truck gun. Yeah. They're going to have something that does double.
Weirdo.
Yeah, it's going to have something, maybe somebody that does double duty. Right, exactly. That you do double duty.
My man.
I would say this: the Geissele trigger is a huge bonus.
It was nice,
and
it was nice. Yeah.
As soon as you go, if you were to swap that out for Geissele Super T, Super Tricon. Oh, you would be hurt.
You can find out more about it. TridentConcepts.com.
Just saying. Well,
I will say the only other thing I'll put on here, and I just wanted to have your input on this. So I use the K2 grip because I do like that it's shorter. On my full-size gun, I don't care as much because I run it in a more fulling thing. This is a more it's not 90 degree, obviously, but it's not as dramatic as the cheater here has, like a standard A2 profile on it. Does this matter to you, or do you don't care?
The thing that matters to me, I don't care about the grip. I don't like that extra high backstrap. But what really bothers me is that it doesn't have a finger groove because we use a choked up grip. So when you're using that choked up grip, your first two fingers go up inside of that notch, and it just cams in there super tight. Really gives you that good purchase of bringing that buttstock into that shoulder pocket. So
before buttstock got mentioned, it got weird for me for a second.
Get even weirder when buttstock got mentioned.
So
upgrade that to a more modern forend. Get rid of a lot of that extra clutter for your light.
So all I hear is Dremel goes burr, and I just cut this off, change out.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I didn't say that.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
And then get rid of that whatever that abomination is at the end of your barrel.
From S tier being the best, A being adequate, B being I don't know, to all the way down
what
to
did you
F.
say the first one was?
S tier. S tier's like super good.
I was thinking Zulu, but okay.
Zulu.
I didn't know where you were going. I didn't know where you were going.
You give us a straight F.
No. I would say, it's got potential, and I like it. I mean, I get why you put some thought into this with your wife being the lefty, and that's there's some value in some of that stuff, but there's just so much more that you can do with it. So
he's given that speech to a date before. Number 2 on the docket is going to be Bobby, or as we call him, Discount Micah. So he has a 300 blackout, correct?
Yeah.
This has got an integrated side folder, which is kind of based on the lower. Light is a mod light
No, it is a Arasaka with
Arasaka?
a Malkoff head.
and a Surefire tape switch.
Yes.
This is he also has the Sin, according to Jeff, the Radian charging handle. The
So
Ambi.
I would say it was a sin on that abomination of yours.
Yeah.
I mean, this one is just reckless.
It's just reckless. This is what's the barrel length here?
7.5.
7.5 on a 300 blackout with a spicy break.
Yeah.
And then this is, you can't see it, but on the back end, we have some footage of this, the Guitar Hero.
I mean, just look at that.
His magazine release, which is based because it's got a BFL on it. And then he has the SBA 3 brace.
Yeah.
What was it? Tooth to tail? Why
to tail.
not the break?
Just, again, goes back to that same reason for your whatever. Even though this is a super short gun, there's a lot of times people want to try to solve a technical problem
With a piece of equipment.
with a piece of equipment.
Okay.
Right? And Bobby's a big boy, he's a strong boy. He doesn't need something like that. So then what is he really getting from it?
My understanding is this is compatible with the suppressor.
Yes, there's
Okay.
supposed to be a suppressor on this gun.
Oh, you don't have. Oh, that's right. You
It's
still,
complicated.
You still have
His
not
face,
been
he goes,
approved.
It's complicated. There was some Dremel work done here to get this handguard to be right at the gas plunk. here.
So the reasoning
Yeah.
behind that is it did come with a A2 birdcage.
Yeah.
But my problem was whenever I went to go to a can, originally I was doing a direct thread. The can would actually hit the rail, so I had to trim the rail back. And then since then, I went to the dead air brake there, so I could actually, it's a chemo brake, so it actually would be able to sit there and not interface or hit
Are you
the rail.
Team Dremel here? So that the handguard's not
Yeah.
farther past to where it needs to be?
Well, I think he did a good job of getting it to a serviceable condition. I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
So he went with the direct mount for his flashlight,
Love
which
that.
your team this.
Yeah, I mean, and just look at it. Just look at the difference between that.
It's on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's. I mean, first of all, it's super secure. It's not going anywhere, but it's also very clean.
I will say this: it's hot. I do like that you went with the zip tie.
Yeah.
That does it.
Single zip tie.
That does it for me.
Yeah.
It's good enough to hold my bumpers on my car. It's good enough for me.
Yeah.
So
Do a lot with zip ties.
So moving back, he
Yep.
does have the side folder, and he did go with the SBA 3.
This accomplishes two things. Obviously, it makes it for a very small, compact package. So, again, folding that bad boy up, getting inside of a backpack,
Fold it.
very easy to do. I mean, that is a pretty small package. And then, the choice of the type of stock, going with the folder and then going with that type of SB tactical brace makes it just really nice and clean. In these day and age, people will argue about, well, backup iron sights are irrelevant. My comment to that is backup sights are irrelevant until they're not.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, most of your weapon sighting system is set up on one device. And while that device has probably seen a lot of time on the range, I don't know what kind of service life you're going to get out of that. So typically, home defense rifles just sit in the corner, waiting.
I don't know if
waiting,
it counts because
waiting.
it has a really like
The
not
Unity site that's built into there is that.
I mean, if he's used it before,
Unity.
if he's used
what I
it,
was about to say.
If he's used it before, it's reasonable.
I wouldn't say it's ideal. It
No.
will work in a pinch, but
It
the reason
does.
being is the fact that it's so close is you have a really short
Hell yeah,
sight
dude.
radius.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, yeah, I can see what I'm looking at, but my gun could be canted,
Dude,
and it still
it's-
looks like I'm on target.
Not only that, it was a pain in the ass for me to zero mine, and then when I shot it, I was like you said, it gets the job done in a pinch under certain circumstances. But we also have to keep in mind that we are responsible for the terminal resting place of every round.
Yeah.
If that does not provide you with a reliable aiming system for an in extremis circumstance, then
so your team,
it's just feel good. That's all it is. Oh, I've got this. It feels good.
yeah. So your team like deployable backup sites.
Yeah, and something too that we talked about a little bit, which is this choice to go with a 300 blackout versus 5.56.
Yeah.
And again, from a home defense setting, I think that's a solid choice. The 300 blackout just is going to do much better in the close confines of the home domicile apartment, whatever you want to call it. And we have to be super concerned about overpenetration with any projectile, much less rifle projectiles. But it becomes even more critical with a rifle projectile. So I'm not saying 5.56 isn't a good choice, but I happen to appreciate the 300 blackout for home defense as well. Yeah. Actually, I would say let's do this. Let's just kind of put it into a percentage. How's that?
I'll give you percentage.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you didn't have to give it to me. I'm giving it to you.
Okay.
So 100% is being the best.
Sure.
All right. So yours would probably be like somewhere in about 37.
37 is a
0.8.
really
37.8.
specific number.
37.8.
Okay.
I rounded on that one too.
I appreciate it.
No, I'm just kidding. I would probably give this like about a middle of the road 70%.
70% is wow. So for those of you keeping score, I'm at 38.7 and he is at 70%. We will go see how Cheater Paul does. So last in our line of challengers before we're told allegedly how to do it is Paul, who I call Cheater Paul, and we'll get into that. But from tooth to tail, we have a Surefire War Comp, which I believe has the legacy muzzle device that they have on there.
That's the Warden.
The Warden, yes. Then you have the Surefire Light. Mm-hmm. You have, is it an RDS?
No,
it's a T2.
That's a T2.
So it's a T2. He does have the flip up. He's got the fancy mag pull. These are the metal ones.
Yeah.
This is a 14.7?
14.5
or 14.5
pin and welded.
Pin and welded. An A2 very select pistol grip here, and then this is a perfectly okay to have a stock without a permission slip because it's pin and welded. It is free floated. Did I miss anything? Oh, Geisley charging. It's the
Geisley charging
rifle,
handle,
yeah.
Geisley trigger,
Yeah.
Geisley upper.
So let's go. I guess start off with the muzzle device since we're going with teeth.
So the Warden, for those that don't know, just has a great directional or an ability to take those gases that are coming out of the flash hider and just project them downrange. So they're still going to bounce off the walls and shit like that, but it's such a cleaner and healthier environment for yourself. So big fan of that. And the nice thing about that is that, once you do upgrade to a suppressor, the integration between the two is it's so pain-free.
Fast,
It's super easy, super fast. Love it.
Didn't sin apparently on the light. So he did not sin on the light. There's no tape switch. There's no nothing.
No, it came with the tape switch.
Yeah.
I just didn't put it on there. It felt unnecessary.
And that's exactly my point. It's like it is unnecessary. I like the push button. I prefer the push button in this setting. You don't have a lot of other accoutrements on there. Yeah. So it's really simple and easy to use it in that fashion. It's again very low maintenance. There's no extra crap. I mean, do you need a tape switch? The answer to that is no. No. You want a tape switch. Yeah. There's a difference. Yeah.
So. Paul feels that way because you feel that way. We'll keep going. So in a departure, so you never gave the advice on trying to do like a hand stop or anything to index off
I don't use hand stops.
Paul, I'm going to give you a good 30 whole seconds to try to defend this decision, and then we'll let him.
I just like it. It's not.
But what's the purpose?
Just getting that.
So you like to use this to leverage it into your shoulder, correct?
Yes.
Okay, explain to why that's a dumb idea.
Typically what ends up happening is that the shooter will rely more on the heel trying to pull the rifle into the shoulder pocket, which seems like that's the right thing to do. What ends up happening is that the grip on the forend becomes very light. And so it has a tendency to disconnect the gripping action, not the pulling action. So we want both pulling and gripping. So you want the ability to grip it, and then once you grip it, then you want to be able to pull it.
Yeah.
So
by shooter he means Paul. And so by that he means,
It's a departure from what,
give it-
Cheater Paul, huh?
Give it a week, it'll be gone. Give it a week, it'll be gone. He does have the back. These are probably some of the trickiest backup iron sights. I will say this: that they don't look like they're there. Like you can literally miss these if you look at them.
I mean, the M-Bus backup iron sight system from Magpul has just been solid ever since they came out. I know that the first ones, people maybe didn't like them because they were plastic, but once they came out with their metal product line, I mean, it's been lights out.
Yeah, this is a flex. You did say, however, that the handguard, you are not as big a fan of the handguard going all the way out. Why?
I just don't need all that extra real estate. That extra real estate is weight. I don't need it. I mean, I like to have, if I have, let's just say I have a 14.5 inch barrel, most of the time my rifle runs with a rifle length gas tube. If I'm running,
you can
DI
put
guns.
it like right there. Yeah.
So my rifle length gas tubes do go a little bit further. So I like to have my fore end right at the beginning of the gas tubes. So in this case, you really couldn't do it because that's a carbine length.
Yeah.
But that's my preference, is to have the rifle length gas tubes and then chop those fore ends right off at that.
Dremel goes burr. That's what we're doing. Bobby, Dremel goes burr. Yeah.
Bobby, don't you touch my rifle.
This is mostly mil spec on the back end of it.
Yeah.
He's got a stock. I think collectively stocks are kind of metal and probably the way to go. That's probably the best way. You get disqualified simply because it's a general purpose rifle, not a home defense rifle. But it
works as a. I mean, I'm letting yours work as a home defense rifle. I mean, shit.
So on a percentage point, what are we doing here?
I'm giving him probably a solid 85.6.
85. That's high praise.
85.6. He would have had closer to 90 if it wouldn't for that little chunky.
So,
I hear you.
You get DQ'd, but you did crush it apparently. So good job on that. We will get where we're allegedly supposed to do it on this next one here.
Okay.
So as a representative of your community and the decades now of experience you have operating as a professional in this industry and in this field, we have Jeff's home defense rifle, or one of probably the 18 that are there. I would like to illustrate both the light and the backup sights are identical to Paul's, which is just a total surprise to me. And also the geometry of the Geisley charging handles identical to this one. Anyways, we'll just keep going. And then there's also like a Surefire compatible muzzle device here, clearly.
It is strange.
It's just
is it
like
not?
a weird
It is
surprise
strange.
for me. I didn't see it coming, but here we are. Would you like to describe your home defense rifle for everybody here?
Oh my God. So, I, like a lot of other people, I had an SBR. I still have an SBR that I have set aside as a HDR. And the nice thing about it is it's compact, but I wanted to get something that was even more compact. This is also chambered in 300 blackout. So, I'm enamored with that 300 blackout.
What's the barrel length on this guy?
5.
I was about to say that's a short.
Yeah, it's 5.5 to be exact.
It is a lot more compact, even with this really long suppressor, with it being 5 inches. And then I think 300 blackout, and I think you're 100, like with the powder being different and with you being able to get actually really good ballistic performance.
Oh, hell yeah.
Out of just that much barrel on a rifle, I think it's cool. But walk us through your decisions and why.
So, again, it's a home defense rifle, so it's suppressed. I want to keep that thing suppressed. That's Surefire. It's I do feel like if you're going to have a home defense rifle, one of the things that all of our rifles had, one of the unique, consistent accessories was a good weapon mounted light.
Yeah, a flashlight.
So I've got I'm a big fan of that single cell, that 3-volt system. I do like it. It's got the new turbo head on there, so it's nice. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it is nice in that sense. Going back and aim point, it's hard to beat the Magpul M-Bus. This is an example of the finger groove that I was talking about. Yeah, yeah. The only reason why I have that finger stop on there is because
Here comes some hypocrisy. We're listening.
I was about to say.
The barrel is so short that when I run that without the suppressor, I turn that, I flip it around, and it becomes a hand stop, so my hand can't go in front. Of
that makes
the muzzle.
sense.
Yeah,
and so you just want to keep it with the
I
system.
just don't want.
So
I
it
don't
has
take it.
there.
So I turn it around so I can actually grip it. So because when it goes all the way forward, it is a little bit of a weird position. But you push on it so that you can get the best grip you can, and it's just like I said, You just don't want your hand to go flying in front of that short ass barrel. If I had to have a negative, it is the fact that when I transitioned from the 300 Blackout to 5.56 to save on ammo, it doesn't integrate exactly the same. Like the forend is a little bit different. I can't put my suppressor. It's just a little bit different in that setting. So that's the only thing that sucks.
So my challenge to the internet is to rate Jeff's rifle on a percentage point on how I personally will give it a -5 right off the top. So you have to apply it for cost alone. Because old girl's not cheap.
Yeah, so, that's true. It's a little pricey.
Minus industry discounts, ballpark it. What do you think, Paul?
Oh, I mean, it's I mean, few grand at least.
So if this costs more than your Honda Civic, let us know in the comment section below. I do thank you for your time and for your input. I'm probably making one change to my rifle. Paul will make 0 unless you change your mind about things.
Well, I'll just recreate it as the 11.5 once that Form 1's approved.
Nice,
So,
nice.
But thank you for your time. If you'd like to find us on socials, we are at AR15com on everything. You guys can find us there. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or X, depending on how you want to say it or how you feel or how old or young you are. If you'd like to find more information or would like to glean more information from Jeff himself, you can find him at Trident Concepts. We will put his information in the doodly-doo. None of this stuff matters unless you have training, to be honest. And so I would glean that this would be useless in somebody's hands that doesn't know what they're doing. And then obviously this is not legal advice by any measure, but I do think it comes from a pretty base perspective. And I do appreciate you providing that to us, despite how much it hurt my feelings in my pocketbook in the future.
Well, stop.